What's going on, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight with some more lake breakdowns. We're still on Possum Kingdom. This will be our third video for Possum Kingdom. We're going to start where we left off. It was a little brush pile on the western bank. So we're kind of just going down the western, I guess you could say, in the southern bank, and then we're going to swing back up and hit the eastern and the northern side. So this will be our third video for Possum Kingdom Lake. Stick around. I got some good stuff for you. Here we go. So if you haven't watched any of my lake breakdown videos before, let me go ahead and just start off here. I'll kind of show you what we do. So first off, we obviously create everything through Google Earth. So we create a KML file for that. So you guys can find that out there on the video description, or you can go out to our website, simplisticfishing.com, and pick up SD cards or the digital files that are formatted specifically for your graphs. So as far as how we lay everything out, just real quick on the left-hand side, you'll see here we've got offshore hotspots. We're going to talk about those in later videos. We're actually going to go through and pull up the Navionics charts and look at the contour lines and show you guys these different offshore hotspots. And then for these videos, we're really just going to break down all the different types of cover and things like that we could find on the shoreline or close to the shoreline when we drew the water back on Google Earth. So we started up here at the north end last time, way up here, and we've just been working our way down this kind of western, I guess you could say northern bank line that we have right here. So we went all the way back over here, and then we finished right here on this little brush pile that was right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw this back, and we're going to continue to go down this bank line tonight and see what else we can find. So I'm going to go up here to this little time clips, and we're going to move this back to 2015, I believe it is. Let's go 2016, 2013. We're good. So this is going to be the image that we want. So let's keep on moving down. Let's come to our very first point. And first thing we really find is going to be rocks again. Again, we got a lot of different rocks on this lake. So what I'm really pointing out for you guys are specific areas where something's different, right? The formation's different. Maybe it's off a point. Maybe it's a big rock. Maybe it's a pile of rocks, all that kind of stuff. So just kind of follow along with me as I go through this and kind of keep that in your mind. So first thing here is you've also got a lot of stick-ups in this area. But you've got some really good rock that's right off here. And if you look right here, there's like this big, I don't know if it's an old culvert or just an old big boulder or whatever it is, but that looks like it could have some definite potential there. As you move down, you've also got these ramps. You guys have heard me talk about the ramp patterns. That is definitely an effective pattern that you can run most times of the year. So find these personal ramps, especially if they have some good depth to them. You can really find some good fish on those. And there's usually rock and stuff around as well. And that's also where the bluegill like to hang out. You know, if the bluegill like to hang out there, that's where the bass like to hang out as well. So as we move down here a little bit further, we've got kind of the sandy bank line, and then you start getting into some rocks around in here as well. So you can check out this dock, fishing around here. Looks like you got some stick-ups to fish around as well. So all kinds of good stuff there. You kind of got that rock just really starts right there and it ends right around that area right in there. And as we move further back, got a little underwater point here as well, right outside of these docks that has some pretty good rock on it as well. So not a lot going on here on this bank line, but as you zoom in, you'll start to see there's a lot of rock right in this area. So you can definitely look there. And if we look at that when the lake's at full pool, totally different, right? You wouldn't even know that that was there at all. You would have no idea. That Bass Island that was up there too that we were looking at earlier, I guess it's submerged, but it's got a little bit of a top to it. But I'm sure that's going to be something we're going to talk about when we start talking about the offshore stuff. So let me keep going back down. We stopped that rock right there, right? Again, not an obvious spot at all, but if you pull back the image, it's very obvious. And then as we move down here, we've got a couple more ramps. So just taking a look at those ramps, you've got more here. There's several on this bank line. And then as we move further out here, you got some debris that's hidden out here. Again, when the water's up, you're not going to know this is out here, so you're going to have to be careful. You don't damage anything on your boat, but you got some really good debris right in this area, right here, kind of off this little point right here. So definitely look at that. Those are really good spots to find fish for sure. And then as we move further down here, pretty much all the same bank line, right? Not a lot of unique things. I mean, if you were going to fish this bank line, I would say, hit these little points right here. Those are going to probably be your higher percentage areas along that bank line. As we move further back in here, there were some laydowns back here. So if you look here, we got some pretty good, significant laydowns. You crappie fishermen, this can be a really good area for you to find some fish. You bass fishermen as well. When you go out there, you know there's crappie around, there's going to be bass around. You got the same thing right over here too, some really good laydowns right in here coming off this point. And again, if we're looking at it, you know, when the water's up, this is going to look a lot different. It's going to look totally different than what you're seeing right here on the image that we're looking at today. All right, so as we pull this back, let me just show you real quick where we're at. We kind of came down around that corner, and now we're back in here. So I'm going to keep moving up. We obviously got a ramp that's up there. We got the lay down there that we talked about. We got some debris that's over here as well. So if I zoom in here, you're going to see it. This looks like, I can't really tell. I don't know if that's one of those boat ramps, or it could be one of those things where it could be a pipe, and it's like that metal cage that protects that pipe. It kind of looks like that as well. Hard to tell what it is, but it's definitely some good debris, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be under the water quite a bit, so it should be something pretty good to fish around. All right, so as I move this back to 2013, I'm going to keep moving down. Just mark some different laydowns. This one looked really significant. You've got a couple here as well, but this one looked really big. You've got another good one right there. You've got these little rock crop outs that happen. So you got one right there. That could be a good spot to look at as well. You got a ramp that's back here, and then a pretty decent little creek channel that goes all the way back up in here. So you could go in here and just kind of follow that creek channel around, see if you find anything. I don't see a lot of bends and turns on that creek channel, so but it is a creek channel. So, you know, I mean, if you're going out fishing, you only have so many hours, at least fish around the creek channels, because that's going to be where the majority of the fish are, right? You guys know that already. Hopefully you know that. So you've also got a ramp that's right here as well. And then we've got, as we move further down, we've got rocks off of this point that look really interesting. If we pull in here, you'll see that there's, they almost look like it's man-made, like some big old concrete chunks or something like that. But that looks like a really good area. Being there, that's off the point as well. I really like that. Now, as we move further down here, we've got some more stuff to look at. You got laydowns back here between these docks. That's a pretty significant laydown. You got the ramp over there as well. If we move back in here, we've got some additional debris that's around these docks. You can see it kind of buried under here. You've got some under here too. This is a really big laydown here that you've got some other debris. I would say this little section right here of docks would be a really good area to put some attention to. You've also got a little rock point that comes out here. Again, when the water's up, right, that point's going to be under the water. You're not going to know that point was there. But let's see if we can pull it to 2019, get a better image for you guys. And of course, it's taking its sweet time today. There we go. So you can see that rock point sticks pretty far out. Those laydowns and things that we were looking at, those are all underwater. All good things to look at. You've also got another good rock point that's over here. So we pull that back to 2013. You'll see where that rock is there. Now, what I like about this, obviously, you got a little underwater rock point. But if you look at this, it's a significant pile. So it's got some shade that it's you can see the shade that it's actually creating there from that pile, having some, at least some significance to it. So I would definitely look at that rock pile in that area. Now, of course, you got rocks all over the place, right? So I'm just pointing out the unique things of those rock structures. You got a ramp here as well. You got some laydowns that are back in here that you could take a look at. Again, you crappie fishermen, looking like a good spot. Another ramp over here that you could check a look at. Then I'm going to scoot back just a little bit here. We got just a lot of ramps to look at, right? Ramp, ramp, ramp. Then finally another ramp back in here. Finally got some rock that's right in here. This looks unique because it doesn't look very deep, right? It looks like it's probably pretty shallow back in here. I missed a brush pile right there. But if we just look at it, you know, not a lot going on. But if you look right here, in the midst of all this stuff is a big old rock pile. Now, I don't know if that rock pile is always going to be under the water. It's probably going to just depend on how much the lake is fluctuating. But this is at 2019, and that rock pile is literally out in the middle of the water. So definitely go take a look at that. See if you can find anything in that area. That one looks pretty decent. Also over here, you got a ramp you could take a look at. You got more ramps. You got another laydown that's right in this area. Hopefully the image can catch up with us. Sorry about my internet running slow today. So you got another laydown that's right here. I marked for you guys. Again, be careful. There's lots of stick ups and things that you could do some damage to your boat. But if you look right in here, just south of that ramp, there's a pretty good pile right here, right where I have it marked as a laydown. So you definitely go over there and check that. You got ramps all along here, and then you just got a little bit of rock that's right in here. You can kind of see it. I don't know if I'd waste too much time getting back in here. This looks extremely shallow, but it looks like, you know, a really good flat that you could come back on during certain times of the year and probably find some pretty productive fish. So if you did, they're probably going to be more related to this creek channel. So you can see here, we've got the creek channel marked for you guys. You can just follow it all the way back and, you know, see what you can find around those. So pretty good creek channel there as well. So as we move further up, we're just going to look at a couple more things. We've got some rock here in this area. Really good, huge rock here, big boulder, nice shadows it's given out. So really like that. Got another laydown right in here. As we move further up, another big boulder. So just kind of marking those boulders, stick ups and stuff, all kinds of good stuff to fish around this lake. The problem is there's too much of it. There's a lot of rock and there's a lot of stick ups, so it's hard to find the things that they're going to relate to. Right here, you got a little rock crop out you could probably take a look at as well if you were really wanting to get specific. Coming over here, I like this because these rocks kind of come out. Looks like it might have some tires or something up here too. But if we look at this when the water's up, it's out there pretty far. So you got some pretty good rock out here closer towards the main lake. So I really like that spot. As we move back to 2013, got some debris back in there. We move up in here in these pockets. We've got some rock. Again, very similar to what this one is. It's like this little rock point that comes out, and it's going to be totally under the water, right? The water's going to be up here, so this is going to be totally underwater. And then we're kind of see the same thing going up here. So this was really interesting. I saw this stuff. I thought, it looks really cool. I wonder what it would look like when the water was up. And when the water's up, you wouldn't really know that all this stuff was there. So go and look at these things. They're very unique spots to these areas. So I'm going to go through and run through it and show them to you guys real quick. There's some debris right off this point. And again, you got that little rock like crop out, right? Little rock island or hump, whatever you want to call it, that kind of comes out off the bank. You've got some more rock right in here that's really significant. These are really big piles. Look at the shade that one's providing. So there's something pretty significant right here. Got some rock there as well. And right here, you can see where the rocks are pretty high as well. Again, you can see the shade lines. And that always gives away that you've got something there, at least some type of a break or something that's creating that shade. And then as we move further back, another one of those little points that come out with the rock off the edge of it. Got one there, got another one right there as well. And then you kind of just get them scattered here. These are those big boulders. So I just marked the boulders. Got one here, another good one right there, another big boulder right here. And then moving up here, got these different piles that come out, right? So one there, one here, huge boulder here, really big boulder there, another one there, and another one right in there. So all kinds of good stuff right along that bank line. I would definitely go and check that out. So as we move further down, just some more stuff to look at. Got some brush piles right in here. You can see if I zoom in here, they're pretty significant. Pretty good sized brush pile right there. Again, that's going to be pretty far under the water when the water's up. You've also got some big boulders back here. You've got a rock here, another one back there. That one almost looks like an old culvert or something. And you've got a creek channel back here, but it's just not that defined. So I didn't really mark it for you guys, but you do have one back there. You've got a rock back here. It's pretty big off this point, little boulder. And then moving up here, these things, you'll see them kind of scattered throughout this lake. I don't know what in the heck they are. They're like a different color of rock. This looks like it might even be a rock or a bush. You can't really tell, but these look unique. Look how unique they are to the whole area around them. So you definitely want to go over there and fish those for sure. All right, so moving over here, got some more rock right here off this little ledge. It makes a little ledge with this rock. You can see it here. So I could see that having some potential. Also got some debris down in here. This area here looks pretty rough looking, but you also have a laydown that's way back here, a real big laydown right here in the middle of the cove. So go back there and look at that. Again, crappie fishermen, that could be a good spot for you. Moving back here, we've got some rock off this ledge. So it kind of creates its own ledge, and then it's got a little boulder that's out all by its lonesome. So I would definitely look right in here and right up here along this bank line. And then moving up, kind of got the same thing going on until we get up in here. Things get a little bit different, but you're seeing, pretty much the bank line's all the same. But you got really big, heavy rock right off this point. So I would definitely check that out. I don't think we marked anything back in this little pocket. We've also got more rock here, those big chunky rocks coming right off the point. As we move further up, we got some more rocks right in here. So kind of sandy, right? Sandy up on the top. And then as you get further out into the water, that's when you get into your bigger rocks. So you could go out there with a wobblehead or a Carolina rig, stuff like that, and kind of drag it around those rocks. Then as we move further up, just kind of seeing the same thing along the bank line. We've got some tires that are here, but they're not going to be that far under the water, but they will be under the water. But you can see them here. There's some debris out there too, but right here is a pretty good pile of tires to fish around. And I've caught some pretty good fish off submerged tires before. I know it's more of a crappie thing, but again, if the crappie are there, the bass are probably not too far behind because that's a delicious meal for them. Also right in here, you've got debris. So you can see here as I zoom in, kind of got 3 different piles. So I put 2 different marks there, but you've really got 3 different piles and maybe even something else to check out right in there as well. So I'm going to zoom back out, kind of show you guys where we're at. We're making the big turn here. So we're getting ready to swoop around here, and let's go ahead and do that. And I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and stop right on this point right here. So we'll stop there, and then we'll start our next video from there. So let's go ahead and move around the point, see what we found over here. We've got some rock again off this point. Really like this one, main lake, right? Sandy kind of all around it, and then you finally get a rock pile right off the edge of it. So really like that one. Got some brush down in here too to check out. Some more brush piles back in here around these docks. You can tell these were put there by someone. Whoa, sorry about that. We've also got some rock that's out here off this point. You can see here just little piles of rock right there and right there. That almost looks like it could have some tires in it too. It's kind of hard to tell. Then back in here, some really heavy, thick brush you could fish around. Some debris back here as well. This pocket had a lot of stuff in it. You also got rock that's around here. So you can see here that boulder sticking out. Kind of like this too. I'm surprised I didn't mark that one. It's got some pretty good rocks there. You got really good rocks there. Big boulder back here as well. Another big rock right here in the middle of all these stick ups. So just a lot of good things that you could fish around. Look for those bigger rocks that provide the shade, and that's going to help you out a ton. Now, as we move down here, I marked these all as points, and it would be super hard to tell you which one of these points is going to be a good point, but I guarantee you one of these, or probably multiple of them, are going to have fish that are setting up on it because it's main lake, main river channel, and it's got really nice points. So it basically establishes a really good ambush point for these fish. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of scroll through these. Now I want you to look at this. You can see where I've labeled these all points. You can see all these little crop outs. We've got a ton of them here. Now, if we pull up the water, you're not going to know that those are there, right? That they basically, you wouldn't know. Well, this one doesn't show it, but when you pull the water up all the way, these don't show up as obvious. But definitely go out here and look at these, fish around them, scan around them, and see which ones are holding fish, because these are really good points to be holding fish. And I could see some of those being very productive for you. So go check those out. One thing you might want to try on those too is go out there with an A-rig and just fish around each one of them. Hit the sides, hit the front, hit the sides, hit the front, and just work your way down and see what you can find. All right, so then moving down here, we get down here right off of this little bluff that's right here. Obviously, this is your main creek arm, right, or your main river channel. So that's obviously a prime spot anyways, and then those points just make it even better. But you've got some rock that's right here off of this point. If I pull it back to 2013, you'll see what I'm talking about. So nice little hump that's out there. You've got a little saddle behind it too, so that can be good. And then we move back in here, just got the marina and stuff. And I did mark the creek channels for you guys, so you have them back here. The creek channels on this lake are pretty obvious. I think you're going to know where they are just by being out there. But I went ahead and marked them for you. Got another little ditch that's back in here too that you can take a look at. It's kind of hidden back in here. And then as we move further up here, we've got another big boulder right here you can take a look at, and you want to hit that point. The river's coming this way, and it's hitting that point right there before it bounces off. That is going to be a prime spot off that point. All right, then here you got a big bluff wall, right? So you could go out here and scan and see what kind of debris and stuff you could find, but obviously the bluff wall is going to be good for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and keep going. We got this little creek channel that's down here. So we went ahead and mark that for you guys. This one's pretty much dried out in this image, but it does make some pretty good turns, hits the bank line right in there, so that could be a good spot to look. And then over here, as you make this big turn, you've got this point that's right here as well you could take a look at. I would definitely fish around the edges of this island. This island looks awesome, this Devil's Island. Hitting these points are going to be good areas to look at for sure. And then as we move further up here, got another ramp. And then we make the turn, swing around here. Let's go ahead and stop here at this point. So we'll stop right here at this point, and that's where we'll start our next video. I hope these are really helping you guys find and locate some fish. I've gotten lots of feedback from lots of subscribers saying that this is really helping them out. So that's super exciting. Definitely keeps me going. Make sure to let us know if these things are helping you out. And also make sure to go out to our site, check it out, simplisticfishing.com. You can find the SD cards and the digital files there. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take care.